Hey everybody. Been thinking for a while that I wanted to make a video about bike safety and how to stay safe on the road. And I've been riding for a long time. I'm 41, started riding when I was probably about 13, but I remember the first time I rode on the road in the street, I was around 16. And I can remember that I was scared. I was worried that, these cars are approaching from behind me. I don't know what's going on. I was used to riding on the sidewalk to train. And, quickly got over it and felt comfortable in the street. But back then, there was a lot less traffic. And experienced a lot of stuff on the road. The more time you spend riding, the more chances things are going to happen to you. And there's things that we can do as cyclists to mitigate that. Recently, last year, I actually got my first mirror. I'll post a link on it on the description. It's an Amazon purchased mirror. I like the mirror because I can remove it to race. Haven't raced on it yet, but it just pops into your bar end. And so you maintain your plug, but you can just take it in and out, and it's pretty small, and you don't look like a total Fred. And I grew up seeing these people wearing these mirrors on their glasses and stuff, and I'm just like, you guys are such dorks, and I don't need that, and if somebody's going to hit me from behind, that mirror's not going to stop them. And just that kind of mindset, and that, that's for people who don't know how to ride and who are scared and all that kind of stuff. And I think when you get married and you have kids, you kind of start to see things a different way. And I also have a Garmin radar light. So those two things in conjunction, I really like using on the road, because the Garmin radar, it's not 100%, but it's really darn close. And so it's going to notify me on my Garmin that there's a car approaching from behind, and then I can use my mirror to kind of see what that car's doing. And that gives me an eye behind me as to what's going on. And two quick little stories. An acquaintance of mine that's been a rider for a long time here in my city, I know he knows how to ride. He knows what he's doing. A lot of times you hear these stories about people getting killed on their bikes, and if you're a serious rider, you think that, oh, that only happens because those people didn't know how to ride, or they were doing something stupid, or, they're just not serious and they don't know how to ride in the road. And when it happens to somebody who knows what they're doing, you have to think about it, and you have to think about what are some of the things that you do that could contribute to that same thing happening to you. And then accidents are going to happen, and fluke things happen. Another person I know, their dad had a seizure at home, and he drives. He's a vehicle driver. So if that seizure had happened while he was driving, I mean, that kind of thing can happen, and that can kill anybody. And there's nothing that you can really do about it other than just stay home and take the bus. So there's a few points I want to make in terms of how to mitigate your risk of getting hit by a car. Now, in my mind, there's really two things that are going to cause you to get hit by a car, assuming that you do everything right and that it's not your mistake. So And this involves cars approaching from behind. If somebody pulls out in front of you, number one, first and foremost, I think, is to always assume that nobody sees you, and always anticipate and do everything as if they don't see you. And so that involves, cars that you're approaching towards. Just make the assumption they don't see you and act accordingly. Because as soon as you start to assume they see you and you act on that assumption, there will be times that you're wrong, and that is when you can get hit. Now, when it comes from behind, you have to think and act like a driver of a car. When are you the most likely to be texting in your car? When are you the most likely to be doing something that is not paying attention to the road and driving your vehicle? For me, it's on big 4-lane highways, straight roads where I don't have to really pay attention to the drive, and I know I'm not going to die. I mean, drivers don't want to die. So if the road is straight 4-lane, they're more likely to grab their phone and start texting. They're more likely to do something that's not driving. And so those are the type of roads that you should think about avoiding. The safest roads to me are the 2-lane, really curvy roads that if somebody's not paying attention, that driver's gonna crash their car. Those are the safest roads because their eyes are on the road, and that means their eyes are gonna see you when you're riding your bike. That is the whole point of vehicles from behind, is the driver sees you, and then you're safe. And so with the radar and the mirror, I can see the car approaching, and I know if they see me or not. I mean, if they're over in the middle of the road or in the other lane, I ain't got to worry about it. They saw me. But if they're approaching and they're not moving, I should probably watch them from behind, and maybe I can give them more space or watch them as they approach and God forbid have to get off the road. But you need to think about where are those roads that the driver's likely to be texting. My friend got hit on a 2-lane, super straight section of road, and that driver may have been drunk or high and on drugs. There again, whatever little brain capacity they have to pay attention to the road so they don't kill themselves, they're going to use it more when the road is curvy, and any lapse in their concentration is going to kill them, which means you're going to be safe in those moments. And that is really the point I want to make. Get yourself a mirror and get yourself a radar, and avoid the 4-lane high speed limit roads. Stay on the 2-lane curvy roads. And when you're on a straight, very straight section of road, those are the ones you want to be paying more attention to as to what's going on behind you. So, yeah. There's other thoughts involved as well about riding a TT bike and training on a TT bike. That's a even more dangerous scenario that I might cover some other time. Thanks.